STEM careers are careers in science, technology, engineering and maths. They're careers that have a big impact on the world we live in. They provide us with doctors and engineers, keep the world moving and keep the power on.
I work for Lloyds Banking Group and I work within their digital department where we look after the online banking propositions, the mobile banking, anything really that you can do online.
GCHQ is one of the UK's intelligence and security agencies. We're responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to the UK government and armed forces.
Pepsico are a global food and beverage company who manufacture products such as Pepsi, Walker's Crisps, Tropicana and Quaker Oats.
Cundall are a multidisciplinary engineering consultancy, so we have mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, structural engineers, and we all work together to design buildings and fit buildings out.
If I had to describe a STEM career in 3 words, it would be exciting, challenging and rewarding.
I'd say limitless, committed and dynamic.
Satisfying, creative and a necessity.
My current job role is a lean specialist, so I'm rolling out lean manufacturing onto the shop floor. This means that I'm reducing waste and making the process more efficient.
I work in the propositions team, digital proposition within everyday banking, so we look after all those propositions. Could be a savings, a current accounts, loyalty programs, loans.
So my role is to fix things. That's basically making sure everything's running when it should be and running to its optimum performance.
On a day-to-day basis, I can be doing all sorts of different things. So I might be doing calculations or drawings, I could be attending meetings with clients, or I could be out on site.
My role as a GCHQ apprentice involves acquiring lots of new skills and experience. Specifically at the moment, I'm looking at computer programming.
My everyday role is to deal with transaction, whether it be online banking or mobile transfers.
There's lots of things that somebody starting out in a STEM career might actually do. You may start as an apprenticeship, you may start in a graduate programme, you may start through work experience, or you may actually just start within a job.
Starting out at GCHQ in a STEM career, you could be working as an apprentice, you could be working in IT services, you could be working as a technical analyst, a trainee engineer. There are lots of different options, lots of different opportunities.
The digital team at Lloyds is quite a big team. We have loads of smaller teams which our apprentices are in. So I know some are in advertising, some are in e-commerce and marketing. Me personally, I'm in website design. But I think it's really good in digital because we get to go to other teams, like maybe for a week, and experience what they're doing and see their side of digital.
Junior engineers, when they're just starting out, can quite often end up doing a lot of the basic calculations and drawings. In most good companies, the junior engineers will be taken along with the senior engineers for site surveys and for client meetings, because how else will you learn to be a senior engineer?
The rewards I have received from going into a STEM career have been personal satisfaction. I get satisfaction in seeing my design being applied in the real world. I feel like I have made my mark or contributed towards society.
The biggest incentive for me is the satisfaction knowing that I've fixed something, taking something that's broken and giving it back in working order.
I think STEM careers can be very rewarding in lots of different ways. There's the really obvious one of salary, and STEM careers have quite good salaries, but also I get a good work-life balance. I've got a 2-year-old and I get to spend lots of time with her, as well as having a fulfilling career. And there is the ethical side as well. I think STEM careers are quite philanthropic, and that's very rewarding to me.
No 2 days are alike. One day you could be on site, another day you could be doing design, and you also have training opportunities as well throughout your career, because you never really do stop learning, even on the job.
The working environment's really upbeat, it's really positive. Of course you have challenges in your everyday role, there's frustration in your role, but overall you can see everyone's pulling towards making the bank and making the group better for customers, better for our community.
The working environment at Pepsico, for me, is really practical. So I'm hardly ever sat at a desk. I spend most of my time out on the shop floor, working with teams and making a difference.
STEM pushes the boundaries of what we know. If you've ever had the curiosity to take something apart and put it back together again, then STEM is a good choice for you.
I was always playing with Lego and Meccano, and I'd always be taking things apart to see how they worked.
I've always been interested in technology. I did coding from a young age, and I would play games and stuff. So it felt like a natural progression to me to move on to a STEM career.
I had no idea that I was in a STEM career until recently. When I was growing up, I actually wanted to be a lawyer. And then I did 2 weeks work experience at a law court and found it really boring. So I decided that I wanted to do something a lot more practical, which led me on to engineering.
I left college with 4 STEM subjects and it felt like an obvious progression, plus STEM's always been an area of interest to me.
So I did all of my studies on day release, which was, from my point of view, excellent because it meant that I was learning on the job. So instead of coming out at the end of a university career thinking, okay, now how do I apply all this? I actually applied it all the way through my studies. So I think it was a very, very good route to go.
I think if you take a STEM-related degree, you're in a really good position because there are so many different options open to you.
STEM makes for a good university choice because the skills you gain can be applied in any field.
The great thing about a STEM career is that it's really flexible and it gives you a huge range of opportunities.
The way the UK, I think, is moving and the way the world's moving, you find that if you want a long-term career now, you see that technology is where a lot of the investment's going. If I'm speaking for Lloyds Banking Group, I think we announced a £1 billion investment just in the digital team for the next 3 years, which is a huge investment from a bank.
Work's going to be a very big part of your life, so you need to do something you're passionate about and interested in, and STEM's a really great place to start.
I would say that STEM careers are really rewarding and fulfilling. I really enjoy my job because I get to do things that I individually enjoy, like maths and physics, but also I get to do things that help us as society. I've designed things like flu vaccine manufacturing facilities and schools, and I'm currently working on a hospital. It's really nice to know that when I get up in the morning, it's to help us all.
You might be sitting there now thinking, well, how do I go about achieving what I want in life? But once you get into a career like this, you realise the ladder's not so tall.
I'd recommend a STEM career to anybody. There's so much potential, there's going to be so much growth, and it's more than just a job. It's going to be a career for life.
This myth about this industry being for geeks or men is just absolute rubbish.
As engineers, we need to design for the society that we live in. We need to reflect our society. So we need to see more women coming through STEM subjects.
We don't just have a male-dominated work environment, we have a healthy balance of men and women working together in a multi-dimensional approach to make Pepsico successful.
IT is not just for men, women also can have the opportunity to grow. I feel like a woman could have the same opportunity as a man.
Engineering or STEM careers is about interest and about passion, and at the end of the day, it's down to the individual and what they want to do.
If you're looking for a career in something like STEM, it's just as any other career, whether you want to be an accountant, whether you want to be a surveyor, it's just, are you going to put in the effort, are you going to put in the time, and it's just how driven are you as an individual. As long as you've got the drive and the desire, then any career in technology is possible for you.
There are more women doing STEM roles now than ever before. You can be a school leaver. Yes, on the other hand, you can be an extremely qualified individual, but it's a very, very open and broad field. I think the best thing about choosing a STEM career is the variety of paths it could take you down. You could be travelling, you could be working in finance, you could be working in a medical area, you could be working in industry, you could be working on something mechanical. It's the options, it's the breadth. That's what's really exciting.
I love working in construction because there's something really satisfying about working on a project that you might spend months or occasionally even years working on, to then be able to walk down a street, point at a building and say, I made that.
The best part for me about having a career in STEM is that STEM underpins the world we live in, and having a career in STEM can mean that you're right at the forefront of technology.
The best thing about a STEM career is that it's fun, it's interesting, it's really hands-on and practical, and I never have a day the same.
STEM careers encourage you to be as creative as you want to be, and I enjoy a creative career.
One of the greatest rewards about working in a STEM career is that you can see the fruits of your labour today on a shelf tomorrow.
I think with STEM, you get the opportunity to make a difference. You're looking for answers. It's very solution focused. You're engineering to make a difference. So it's really unique in that respect.
I feel it's a career that is passion driven. And if you're interested in something, it's very difficult sometimes to see the negatives about it. And at the moment, it's been great.
With a STEM career, you're at the forefront of technology a lot of the time, but because you're pushing the boundaries of technology so far, the most frustrating thing you find sometimes is getting that buy-in and helping people understand these new roads you're going down and these kind of new avenues you're forging.
GCHQ is really unique. We're an intelligence agency. We do really interesting work. We have really interesting technologies. It's exciting and it's different.
It's really great to work for Pepsico. It's a global company that we're all proud of. We have over 22 brands that generate revenue of over $1 billion. And what's really great is to know that STEM has been a part of that success.
What makes Cundall a great company to work for is the integration of technology that it has, the working environment and the variability of the work. We work on all sorts of different projects and we approach them in all sorts of different ways.
Everyone is very passionate about the design work that they do, and working here you tend to feed off this energy that they have.
Above all, I've definitely enjoyed the people the most. When I first came into the bank, I thought it was going to be a very kind of intimidating environment. But you know, joining the bank, I found it to be quite the opposite, really.
You couldn't have a world without engineering, even right back to sort of prehistoric days. You know, they were designing wheels to make life much easier, and there's always been engineering.
For me, it's incomprehensible to imagine a world without STEM because it underpins everything. Without STEM, there just wouldn't be the world as you know it.
Without STEM, we wouldn't have power. Without STEM, we wouldn't have trains and cars, and without STEM, we wouldn't have brand new buildings. Without STEM, you wouldn't be watching this video because you wouldn't have the TV, you wouldn't have the camera, and you wouldn't have had the power to switch the TV on.
Without STEM, the world would be a really boring place. We wouldn't have anything from the mobile phones that you have, to the video games that you play on when you get home, to the building that you're sat in, the clothes that you're wearing. Absolutely nothing would exist without STEM.
I strongly believe that STEM careers are a force for good because they contribute towards making a positive difference in the world.
The future within STEM careers is so exciting. We're going to rely on people who study STEM subjects to be more productive, more creative, more systemic, more efficient, and be able to deliver against some of these big challenges that are heading our way.
If you look at some of the problems we face on a global scale, whether that's related to finance, the environment, poverty, STEM holds the answers to those problems.
STEM is shaping the world as we know it. It's pushing the boundaries of possibilities. It's the driving force behind pretty much everything. You can't really avoid STEM. It's everywhere. It's in your pocket. It's in the sky. It's all around us. So I think it sort of drives itself. It's constantly moving forward.
A lot of the government and a lot of people around the world are looking towards STEM to find the answers, to find the solutions. So you find that STEM will be pushing the boundaries of the way the world will progress in the future.
The future is going to be huge for STEM careers. There's so much opportunity and so many new roles that are rising to help make the future brighter and better for us all.
Every time you watch a sci-fi film, you're seeing some of the potential future of STEM. STEM is going to take us to space. STEM is going to cure most of our diseases. STEM is going to provide us with energy-neutral homes. STEM is going to provide us with fantastic clothes that aren't made in sweatshops. Everything around us is the future of STEM. If you want to choose a STEM career, it's really important to pick subjects like sciences and maths. But actually, if your academic qualifications don't go as well as you would hope, then there are always other options like foundation years and apprenticeships, and those are particularly prevalent in engineering.
Qualifications will help it demonstrate your ability and knowledge, but passion is the real crucial thing I think you need.
Qualifications, yes. I'm not going to lie, they're really, really useful. But I think having a passion for your STEM subject is the most important factor.
You definitely need to have a mathematical brain. You do need maths. I would say you do need to have an understanding of sciences, physics being the prime one, but I have to say I came out of school and my physics wasn't good. College will actually take you down a more practical approach to physics.
I think everybody that wants to be involved in a STEM career has to have a grounding in maths and science, but that doesn't mean that the career that you pick is going to be all maths every day or all science every day.
It's widely recognised that the UK has a shortage of people taking STEM qualifications. So for instance, if you were taking a computer science degree, it's highly likely at the end of your degree that you would have quite a variety of job choices.
I would say definitely get good grades in your science and maths GCSEs or A-levels, and also don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone.
I think my one piece of advice to a student watching this is just do it. It's very exciting, very rewarding. Just do it.
It's a booming industry, so you're always going to be able to find a job. But also, it's a really good way of combining something you love with something that's employable.
My top tips to get into a STEM career would be to research brands that interest you, because every single one of them will have STEM roles.
Ask your careers officers, get in touch with the big companies, ring them up, call them, ask them, and you'll find a lot of people are wanting to help young people. The information is out there when you look for it. Could be Google, could be your careers officer, could be getting in touch with companies yourself.
3 words of advice I'd give you is to be confident, be yourself, and just go for it.